Hey, Michigan Maniacs. This is the Michigan Maniac Podcast, and I am your host, Adam Brewer. This is the Maniacs Basketball Update. That's right, guys. For most of the new Maniac fans, you didn't realize, but I have been doing, and I do cover basketball for the most part. But I love the fact that you guys have made it a point to reach out to me and say that I need to do it. So that makes me feel good. That makes me feel like more than one of you is actually listening and wanting to actually know more about what I'm doing. So that's great. I mean, I'm doing the throwback Chris Webber, baby. We got this all day long up in here. Been a Michigan basketball fan since '89 when Ramil Robinson sinked those 2 free throws to beat Seton Hall in the fucking Final Four championship to bring home the national title for us. I mean, Steve Fisher, the whole thing behind, we need to hire a Michigan man, the whole deal, like it was very important. I was up in my mother's room watching that happen because we had a family function at the time and no one wanted to watch Michigan basketball do anything. Shocker, because I grew up in Denver, Colorado. But I've been in it from the get, baby. I've been in it from the get. So, let's get into this. So, before we do that, housekeeping as usual. We can't ignore that, right? We cannot ignore the housekeeping. Obviously, guys, I'm on all social media: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. What you're watching me on now, guys. I mean, come on. Let's face it. We've all watched numerous, and I mean there might be, if I can stop tripping over my own tongue, there might be hundreds of Michigan podcasts, YouTube videos, whatever, of every Tom, Dick, and Harry thing they can talk about it. And we all know I'm better than all of them, right? I mean, there's like 1 or 2 I'm right up there with. And my followership is nowhere near theirs. I saw this one dude. I didn't even know this dude existed. You see him in nowhere other than just some random YouTube video that popped up. And he had like 700,000 views. 700,000 views. And this guy was watching, it was like watching paint dry, talking about Michigan football. And I'm thinking, and people were talking about, hey, great breakdown. Great breakdown. I fell asleep and it was a 9-minute video. What? Come on, man. You know I'm better than that. That's the thing. I wish I would have written down the name of the show because it was awful. I mean, I'm glad that there's a Michigan fan out there that's trying to be, aware and like a moderate fan. Get out of here. Anyways, I don't even know his name, but come on, guys. Let's get the viewership up on this channel, right? I mean, I hate to say it, but let's just do it. Come on, man. If you guys really appreciate what I do, click the membership, the subscribe, the whatever, blah, blah, of the social media thing. I'm 44, so I don't get all this baloney. But hey, if this is what gets my numbers up, let's do it. Anyways, if you guys leave a review in these 2 places, okay, makes it much easier for me. Don't do it on whatever random platform you listen to, even though I appreciate all the random platforms you listen to. But if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts, or the Michigan fan page on Facebook, okay? Leave a review. Hit me up on the DM, either Twitter, whatever DMs you can find me on, Instagram, any of it. And just leave me your name, your address, whatever. Fake name, I don't care, whatever it is. I will send you some stickers, okay? And these are the stickers. They're pretty fantastic. I made them myself. They're clear, so it's not a white background, but it's clear. It's pretty awesome. And I'm going to make some more, actually. And I actually even might use the new basketball logo that I made because I actually kind of like it. It's pretty cool looking, in my opinion. Now, you guys might hate it, but I like it. So, anyways, let's get into the basketball update. Just so you guys know, kind of the ground rules for how this is all going to go down. I'm going to do one a week on Monday nights. I'm going to go over whatever games we just had, and then I'll look forward to the games we're going to have, and then just kind of the overall view of Michigan basketball at that point in time, right? So this way we kind of enjoy the whole view of what's happening. Now, I'm starting this off kind of late because obvious we are a football podcast first and then basketball second, even though most people say we are a basketball school first, football second. I mean, and how can you really argue that? Because we fucking stink out in the football area right now. But so let's get on to this. So, okay. Little programming notes though. North Carolina State game has been canceled. We're looking towards what it looks like is some sources have said that we've agreed with Toledo to go ahead and replace that game on Wednesday, but we're going to find out in the next couple days or so. So let's hope we get Toledo in there. I mean, obviously for COVID, this has thrown a monkey wrench into everything we do. So, not a surprise, and I'm sure there's going to probably be more games that we're going to have to deal with, but I'm just glad that the Big Ten basketball isn't as stringent and as hard with their rules as Big Ten football is, which, as we all know, it's a joke. Warren should be fired. I mean, he's a joke as a commissioner for Big Ten. He's just an absolute joke. So I'm glad to see that basketball is a little bit more flexible. Now, unless you're Ohio State. If you're Ohio State, football, I mean, the Big Ten will break rules, will reform rules, will do whatever they need to do to make sure you get into the playoff. And even though you're not even close to being one of the top 4 teams in the country, look at how you played. It's pretty embarrassing. I mean, you'll work us by 20 or 30, but still, you're nowhere near the top 4 teams in the nation. We'll bend over backwards to try and get you into this joke of a Big Ten title game, and then even a bigger joke of the fucking playoff system. So settle down, Ohio State fans. You're not that great. And I wish, I really do hope you get into the playoff, because I want to see Clemson work your butt once again. Work you like a fat white woman in a black orgy scene. That's how bad I want to watch the Clemson or whoever you play. Alabama, Notre Dame. I mean, any one of these teams, you're not as good as you think you are. You're just not, and I can't wait to see you get worked. I'm still holding out hope that Dan Villari, a true freshman 3-star, works your butt if we play you this week. But anyways, this is a basketball update, so let's get to that. So, hey, let's face it. We got to be pretty freaking happy, right? I mean, our team is 4-0. Even though we did have a setback against Oakland to where we had to win it in overtime. By 10 points, by the way. But still, we are looking good. I mean, is anybody else just thrilled with how the freshmen are playing at this point? I mean, Terrence Williams, the second, by the way, that's very important you say that. The second, and then our main man, Hunter Dickinson. I love Hunter Dickinson just because his first name matches my own son's name. So any guy named Hunter, I'm a big fan. Big fan. Anybody named Hunter. And it's obvious. If you're named Hunter, you gotta be a man. You gotta show up. You gotta fucking be good at whatever you do, right? My son's amazing in the Navy. I mean, air crew, EOD, whatever this kid's doing right now, he's crushing it. And I don't know if I can even legally say what he's doing right now, because it might be classified. But let's just hope I don't get arrested or he doesn't either, because I've busted the secret. But Hunter Dickinson is wow. And also, I'll be quite honest with you, I'm kind of happy he's coming off the bench. Now, you know me, I'm a huge culture guy. Huge culture guy. Like, that's why I don't want Harbaugh to get this extension. I truly hope he's going to the NFL because his culture's for shit. So but I love how Juwan Howard is setting up his culture, setting up his team to be successful. I mean, good key of how a culture is being produced, manufactured, set up from the ground level. How about if you have a bad night at the free throw line? After the game, you've got to stay in the stadium and you have to the arena and you have to work on your free throws. That's happened in all 4 of the games these guys have played. That's culture. That's a coach saying that, yes, you may be our star, but you're not held above anyone else. You do need to work on this, and you need to stay in the arena until you hit X amount of free throws or whatever the rule is. All I know is they're working after the game. Does that not scream culture to you? So let's get back to Hunter Dickinson being on the bench. I think that's great, to be quite honest with you. I like having Austin Davis going out first because, as we have all seen in football, you don't know what the Big Ten refs are going to be like. Do they have a fast whistle? Do they let you play? Do they allow aggressive play? Are they against aggressive play? What's going on? And there's no better center. Excuse me. There's no better center to have out there than Austin Davis, because you know you're going to get quality minutes regardless of when you put him in there. So why not throw him out there in the first 5 minutes of the game just to kind of see, one, how the refs are going to call the game. So this way you can tell him, be aggressive, kid. Get out there, see what we got to see. Let's start dictating. Let's start seeing what these refs can do. And if not, let's dictate some aggression so this way we see what the refs will do, right? Also, too, it gives, when we get into the games with Iowa and we get into the games with Illinois, when they have phenomenal centers, why not throw Austin Davis out there? Why not? To let Hunter Dickinson sit back and be like, oh, that's how he does it. Okay, he gets the ball, he drops steps into this, or he can pass out of the block. Oh, he looks to do this. Give him 5 to 7 minutes to kind of see what's happening with those tremendous centers with Iowa and Illinois, to be like, okay, I'm a freshman, but I get this. I see what he's doing. Because let's face it, Hunter Dickinson is a phenomenal talent. I mean, just look at what he did in the last game with UFC, right? I mean, there was one point, I think it was later in the game, he gets the ball, he spins, and he gets bumped, and he's able to use his body to get bumped by the guy, and then still use his off arm, just to shoot it in. Nice layup. It's beautiful. He takes the contact and is still able to control his body to get in there. Phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. Like, he is above and beyond what a freshman center we've ever seen. I'll be quite honest. We've ever seen. I mean, if you were to ask me, what did you think of this team coming into the season? It's not like I didn't have a lot of hope for them. I did, because they showed that they were streaky throughout last season, right? I mean, Livers being hurt, they really didn't have a guy who could hit in all 3 levels, right? The down in the post, mid-level, and the 3-point. They didn't really have a guy who could do that, to be quite honest, outside of Livers. They just didn't. I mean, Eli Brooks is good driving in, and he can hit the 3. His mid-level jumper, his mid-range jumper isn't great. You know, and we just didn't have the team to do it last season. We just didn't. And so it was interesting to see, right? This season, though, with everything that Juwan Howard has done, getting Brown in for a transfer, getting Jones in for a or Smith. I always want to call him Jones for some reason. Mike Smith in as a transfer. These guys are different, and they're good. Smith being the starter, Brown coming in off the bench and really playing some solid minutes. I mean, for God's sakes, we had 49 points from our bench in this last game. 49 points. That's more than half of what we scored. 49 points. That goes to show you. And then how about Brandon Johns? Oh my God. Brandon Johns this year. Yeah, granted, he's not killing it in the points or whatever, but his energy, what he does when the spark he produces coming off that bench has been phenomenal. I mean, look at what he did with UCF. We were dead in the water. We didn't look great with the starting five we had out there. Okay, fine. We're still trying to figure out which lines are working with what, which lineups, blah, blah, whatever. And I get it. 2020 has produced a lot of weirdness for everyone. But for Howard to really kind of approach things, I heard this on another podcast, which I like, and that's the only reason why I'm mentioning it, is that we should start thinking about these lineups more like lines in hockey, not like a starter or backup, but just which line. So they're all kind of starters in hockey, right? They're just your line 1, your line 2, your line 3, whatever. And you all have your kind of purpose. And it's good to kind of see that. But, I mean, Brandon Johns came in and it was spark immediately. That kid plays hard. He's got some real talent to him. I mean, I know he only scored 5 points in this game, but you have to admit, as soon as that kid came in for Michigan, they played differently. They really played differently. It helps a guy like Hunter Dickinson when he gets in to have somebody like Brandon John really just know what he's doing, provide that spark to kind of take the pressure off of a freshman. And then Terrence Williams comes in and looks phenomenal. I mean, shocker, you let freshmen actually play and you don't complicate the game so much that they don't know how to play and they're in their mind so much. Amazing what you can get out of them. Really, it's amazing what you can get out of these kids when you just let them play and you just give them a good kind of overview and a flow of an offense that they understand what's going on. And then all of a sudden our defense starts looking better. Oh, shocker. Absolute shocker. That's what's so great about Juwan Howard is that we might not be the Luke Lockledge type of defense, shut them down 30 to 50 points a game type thing. You're playing more with Howard. You're playing more of an NBA style offense. And as we all see, tell me the last NBA game you saw that had real defense in it. So what he's trying to do, he's not teaching defense. He's teaching it enough to where if you need to shut him down, you can. But overall, he's teaching these boys how to grow into real NBA men. And the offense is what speaks in the NBA right now. This isn't the 90s where the Miami Heat were locking people down to 85 points a game, right? Even though Pat Riley was the Showtime Lakers, but when he gets to the Miami Heat, all of a sudden he believes in, defense, right? It's not the 90s anymore, right? We're watching Juwan Howard really produce a culture that is going to produce amazing NBA talent coming out of Michigan. And this culture is phenomenal. I can't speak enough about how much I truly love Juwan Howard. And Ward Manuel, as much as I don't know what he's doing with Harbaugh, I have to ring the bells of success when it comes to Juwan Howard. Everybody panned him. Everybody talked shit about him. I don't even know if I was 100% sold in on Juwan Howard. But man, what a great hire at this point in time. Now, granted, I'm sure in 2016 I was saying the same thing about Jim Harbaugh. So let's see what Juwan Howard does and his years coming up, right? I mean, he already signed the #1 recruiting class in 2021. What is he going to do in 2022? I mean, I'm very excited to see what he can do. And plus, how exciting is it to be, on a side note, to see a Howard, Jace Howard, number 25 in the maize and blue. He didn't do much in this game against UCF, and that's fine. I mean, he's just a freshman. But how nice was it really to see that? To me, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. There's so much I love about this team right now. I know Franz Wagner isn't doing great, right? But his defense is still stellar. I mean, he's still picking it up on the defensive level. Offense, in the first couple games, first game he sprains his ankle. Second game he still really doesn't look that great. He still got about 14 points. Oakland still didn't look good either way, but defensively, all three games solid. This game, I think he got 14 points, 7 and 7 in both halves. Still not looking great offensively, but defense is solid. That's the good thing about this team, is that you've got Livers and you've got Wagner and you've got Brooks, guys from the old team that you're thinking, okay, these guys have got to be the leaders. They have to be the point getters. They have to do this. But if they don't, our bench is so solid right now. Dickinson, Williams the second, you've got Brown. These guys are coming in and really helping sustain or overdo what these starters are doing. And it's really just great to see. And I think I said this in the last podcast, but it was about football. How much do you love watching Juwan Howard get at Livers in the Oakland game? I mean, actively talking shit, low-key talking shit, by the way, to Livers. And then Livers coming back at him. The fiery nature of this team, I love it. I love that you can come at your team and they don't wilt like little flowers underneath heat. You know, they haven't had great starts in all four of these games. They just haven't. But you know what they haven't done? They haven't wilted. They haven't given up. They haven't started infighting. They haven't done any of that. They haven't started blaming the coaches for any of that. And you know why? I hate to keep bringing it up, but it's culture. Everything that Juwan Howard is doing is based on culture. He's setting up a fiery, let's do this, we're here to win it, let's argue, but we love each other type thing, and it's great. Now, maybe I change my mind in a few weeks, but right now, I love everything that's going on with the culture of this team. I love it. It's fantastic. I can't get enough of this team right now. I love it. I mean, it makes me excited to even watch Michigan anything. I'm just so excited to see a team, even when it's down by 12, they don't panic. You didn't see sadness or crying or I can't wait to transfer and I'll throw 50 on these guys. You didn't see any of that. You saw a bunch of kids focused, listening to their coach and going out and doing something. Actually playing and doing something. It was phenomenal to watch these guys actually do something. Now, granted, these aren't amazing teams that we've played so far. UCF is probably going to be the best team we've played non-conference all season long. When you actually break it down, they are that good. Johnny Dawkins is the head coach. I'm sure he's counting the moments, or even has set up a assassination attempt on on Coach K to get him out of Duke. Obviously joking, but you know what I mean. Like, that's his next stop. But what he's done with UCF is very impressive. So there's a lot of games that I can't wait to see how this team really reacts, because we're getting, now that we don't have NC State. Now, I'm sure, like I said at the beginning of this, we've got Toledo coming in. Pretty good team, but obviously non-conference, not the greatest team in the world, but we're still going to hopefully have a good contest. But after that, we get into the Big Ten title. Big Ten conference play. Now, there are some games that I'm super excited. Let me check some of these notes to make sure I'm not missing anything. Before I get into that, can we also when I talk about culture, how great is it to see Austin Davis be the big brother to Hunter Dickinson, inviting him out to fish, to do all those other things with the other senior kid? I don't even know his name. But still, like, having that big brother program for your freshmen, that creates a bond, that creates a culture, that just continues to make a fantastic culture where these kids are going to strive. And that's what we need in this team right now where, let's face it, next year, I mean, the majority of this team's going to be gone. I mean, we already lost 3 to transfer, which I thought were going to be devastating. I mean, Cole Bajema going to, I don't even know where Cole went to. I'm sure it's some good team because I thought he was going to be super successful here. I loved how that kid stroked the ball. Fantastic. I mean, I loved that kid's game. Castleton, I thought Castleton had potential. He was just too skinny for me. I just don't know how you can be a 5 or even a 4 at that matter, being that skinny. He's gone to Florida. I really do wish him the best of luck. God bless you, Colin Castleton. I hope you do a fantastic job at Florida. Also, DeJulius, I loved how fiery that kid was. He went to Cincinnati. Good luck. I mean, I really do. I always hope that every ex-Michigan player, unless they were a complete douche, goes on. If they want to transfer, I hope they go on to bigger and better things, and I hope they find whatever rainbow they're searching for, right? I hope whatever golden road they go down, that's what's the best for them. So I'm 100% on all that. But I love that big brother program that Howard. Once again, it's a coach loving his team, loving the situation, and creating a culture of being accountable for oneself. One thing that the football team does not do. Harbaugh, if you're listening, go down the hallway. I'm sure Juwan Howard's office isn't too far away from yours. Ask him what you need to do to be successful, you fucking arrogant ass. Anyways, so here are some of the games before I close out. Here are some of the games in the Big Ten schedule that I'm actually very excited to look forward to, okay? Maryland, New Year's Eve, Maryland. Maryland, I know, lost some players, key players to the NBA draft, got drafted pretty high, but still a very quality basketball program, has always been a basketball program. I mean, even when they were, I believe, the ACC, fantastic basketball program. So I'm always excited to see what we can do against that because to me, they're up there with Duke. They've always been a solid program. Not dominant like Duke, but still, I think they have a national title and a couple Final Fours. I mean, they're not a joke by any stretch of the imagination. So anytime you can play somebody like that has a history of good college basketball, I love to see what our boys can do. Always and will. Wisconsin. January 12th, I think they're ranked 4th in the nation right now. They are the most boring. They are as boring. I think Wisconsin's motto in football and basketball is let's bore people to death so this way we can beat them. You can watch Wisconsin play football. I know they look like they're juggernauts against us because we have a coaching staff in football that actively spread their butt cheeks apart and shove their head firmly up between their butts into their beeholes while they coach. So this way it makes Wisconsin look way better than they were. But look at them against Northwestern. Didn't look so good. They are boring. Their offense approach is boring in both football and basketball. God bless them. I mean, they're just normal whites. I'm an exotic white, so therefore we have this kind of rivalry, right? Like, even when white dudes were popular, I was never white enough to be that white guy. So I've got a little bit of a thing with them. Even now that white dudes are out of popularity, I'm still too dark to be white. And I'm not dark enough to be cool. So, I mean, it's always been a bitch for me. Anyways, they are boring. They are boring. They always wear those dong cutter shorts. They always have the most irritating white guys that play the most irritating defense you've ever seen. And that's on basketball. I mean, it'd be weird to have guys wearing coochie cutters in football. But anyways, it is boring basketball. 100% boring basketball. Outside of the time Sam Decker, I think his name was, that played, and they beat the undefeated Kentucky team. That was the only semi-interesting Wisconsin team that's ever played basketball in the history of Wisconsin basketball. But yet, you have to play this boring-ass team that plays some good defense. I can't, I hate Wisconsin, just in general. They bore me. They are like, no, you know what? I'm not going to say it because I'll probably get myself in trouble. Anyways, then February 6th, the day after my brother's birthday, woo woo, we play State for the first time. I can't wait to see this because that's going to be a huge test for Hunter Dickinson and our defense, and we can't start off slow against them. They had a great win against Duke. They've got some real talent there. They always do. Michigan State always has a great basketball team. I can't mess with them on that. You know what's so sad is I can't even mess with them on football this year. That's how sad my life is on the football area, is that I can't even make fun of Michigan State. Michigan State! Wildcat, woo! Just right up the wazoo. Okay, whatever. It's whatever it is. F them. But we've got a real test with Michigan State February 6th. I can't wait to see. This is another one. Look at this 3-game combo we got going. February 6th, Michigan State. February 11th, Illinois. Oh, Hunter Dickinson. Boy, you better put your big boy pants on that one, because you're going up against one of the men in the Big Ten. That boy, Kofi Coburn, or whatever his name is, that dude looks like he's 35, and he's played in the NBA for 14 years. He looks like Charles Oakley. You're like, what the fuck is Charles Oakley doing in a Illinois uniform? I know he was a Bull, but let's not go crazy here. What is he doing in an Illinois Fighting Illini Illinois uniform? So yeah, what Teskey could not handle last season, numerous times as we saw. I want to see what Hunter Dickinson can do against Kofi Coburn and the Illinois team right there. Because let's face it, if he can somewhat handle, or even God forbid, God forbid, up top, let's hope God's with us on this one. If Hunter Dickinson can play even or above Coburn in this game, we have a great chance of winning this game. I can't wait to see what he does on that. And then we go back February 14th playing the Boar Fest, which is Wisconsin again. I mean, they are American cheese with ranch dressing. They are the most boring team I've ever seen in my life. You want to put a gun to your mouth and blow your brains out than rather watch Wisconsin play basketball or football. They're just awful. Just the worst. I can't stand. And then they always have that little mousy little white dude who just plays dirty. He's like John Stockton with less talent. You know what I mean? He looks like he's got to date rape the girls that he goes out with. I hope none of that's true, by the way, so I don't get canceled. I hope none of that's true. But there's that one dude. I wish I can even know his name. I guess I can go on the sex offender app and look up this Wisconsin basketball player's name, but I can't even remember his name. He's so annoying. He's got the little lame white guy haircut, which even white guys like me hate. And it's offensive to the hilt, right? You just, bleh. We got to play those boring sons of bees again. And then, so look at those 3, back to back to back. And then you take 7 days off, and then you go up against Ohio for the first time. It's like we have 4 of the toughest games right in that month of February is a mother effort for us when it comes to games. I can't wait to see all those games, to be quite honest with you. I can't wait. I think it's going to be awesome. I think we have more grit than we think we do. It's going to be awesome. I think Brown and Smith, I think they bring a bit of grit to them. I like Hunter Dickinson. I want to see if he's got grit. If he's got grit, over with. I want to see Zeb Jackson, right? I want to see this kid just take off because you can tell, like, he hasn't really been hitting well, but you can tell with the speed, and you can see him almost outthink what he's ready to do. And I can't wait to see what Zeb Jackson can do. And then we've got Iowa coming up. Iowa for the first time, March 4th, Iowa. So hopefully Dickinson is a beast by the time we hit. With that gauntlet that I just laid out to you, Dickinson's going to be primed and ready for that center in Iowa. And I should have written down his name. You know, the big, tall, white guy, number 34, killed us all last season. He's like averaging 30 this year. I mean, the kid's quality. I just cannot for the life of me remember anything that Iowa does. They are about 2 points less annoying than Wisconsin when it comes to annoying white people on a basketball team. Or just annoying in general as a sports team. Just so annoying. The most exciting thing that's ever happened to Iowa football was the vague assumption of racism that happened in the offseason. I was like, wow, look at Iowa trying to be like noteworthy. Holy shit, they tried racism? Well, that was amazing. I mean, Kurt France has been there for 97 years. About time he tried something new, and who knew he was going to try racism? I mean, that was something. I mean, I don't approve of it. I think it's disgusting. I think racism is probably the laziest thing you could ever do, to hate somebody. I mean, hate somebody because of the way they look? What are you, slow? I mean, there's like 97 other things you can hate somebody for other than their skin color. Yeah, I mean, you're just a lazy, awful person. If that's the laziest you got to be, is like, I can't even bother to know you, so I'm going to look at the first thing I see and hate you for it. Ugh, gross. And that's exactly what I think of Iowa football and basketball. Gross. Boring. Same with Wisconsin. I mean, I wish Wisconsin was interesting enough to even have racism. Maybe can you do sexism? Can you just like fire a female like assistant coach or something? At least be interesting. I can't even find you interesting. You're gross. You're boring. I can't take it. Ugh. Me as an exotic white guy needs more from my white counterparts to even say that I hate being associated with you. I hate it when you're that boring. And then we have State. You like that little one? Then we got the closer out with State in March 7th. I can't wait for that either. I think I can't wait for this season of Michigan basketball. Now maybe, let's see next week. I may have a different tune. But I love, one, the culture. I love, two, how these young players are playing now, early. Jim Harbaugh, pay attention. I love all this. I love how the accountability, if you screw something up, you stay after and you work on it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we do have like another little private workout area. You can go back to the barracks or whatever the heck it is. Barracks, like they're in the government, like they're in the military. But you know what I mean? We have other things you can be doing free throws at. But I love the fact that Howard makes them stay in the arena they're at and practice. I don't care if it's at home or away. They sit there and they practice whatever it is they screwed up, and that's free throws mostly. I love it. I love all this so far. I can't wait. Guys, this is it. This is the end of the basketball update. I hope you loved it. I'm going to do more of these. They're going to be all YouTube, all of them. They're going to be all podcast platforms, all of it. So guys, listen, please go out there, share this with your friends and family, or anybody who even likes college basketball, or just likes some weird guy yelling into a mic for about 30 minutes. Just tell them. Let's get the subscriptions up, the subscribers up. I mean, I've had a few things to drink, but yet I'm not wasted. Like, this is crazy for me to be tripping over words that are so easy and silly. Anyways, get people out there. Let's get this going. I mean, I love you guys. You love me. Maniacs, you have been the best. You've been the best. I mean, if you haven't checked out the last episode, we are up 37% in a pandemic, people. A pandemic. You guys have lifted up this podcast 37%. That is phenomenal. I thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for it. Thank you. But guys, let's kill the rest of these shows, man. I mean, I'm giving you something, right? If not, hey guys, rate and review. Go to podcast, Apple Podcasts and the Michigan fan page, or hell, even on Spotify, because apparently Spotify has been paying a lot of attention to what I've been doing lately. Go to Spotify and just share, because you can't rate and review there. Just share my podcast with everyone you know. Those three, if you do any of those things, let me know. Especially if you rate and review. If you rate and review on Apple Podcasts or the Michigan Maniac fan page on Facebook. Those are the only two, by the way, platforms that I will send you free stickers on. Let me know. Hit me up DM. I'll check it out. And once I see the review, I will send them out to you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you guys do. Always remember, when it comes to basketball, it is great to be a Michigan Wolverine. We are in the week of the game for football, so it's frightening to be a Michigan fan for football-wise. But always remember, guys, always and forever, all right, always and forever, go blue.